Hey all! Starting guitar might be easy or difficult for you depending on how much you like to challenge yourself, but there are a few things that you might not find out early enough into your guitar playing. Everyone wants to just play, play, play. You always have a goal ahead of you that you want to achieve, and you just want to be on the path to getting there. But don't forget two things. Once you get to your current goal, you'll probably set yourself a new one. And also the fact that your ability can improve much slower or much faster depending on your choices along the way, and your choices depend on the information that's available to you. So let that be an early bonus tip for you. But for now, let's get into the 7 things you should know when starting guitar. Number 1, intonation and action. Chances are, when you get your guitar new from the shop, it's going to be in playable condition, but it's very likely that it's not going to be in optimal condition. Two aspects of the condition of the guitar are very important when it comes to how fast you can progress and how playable the guitar is. Action refers to the distance between the string and the fret, meaning how long your finger has to travel to fret the note. Low action means that the string is quite close to the fret, while high action means that the string is further away. Having high action means that it could be significantly more difficult to play faster. Most bridges will have a way in which you can adjust the height of strings. For instance, this bridge over here is a fixed bridge, and it allows you to adjust each individual string saddle by screwing in or unscrewing a screw. You're going to have to work a bit harder with a floating bridge though, because those are usually adjusted on the bridge as a whole. The idea here is that if you want low action, you're going to have to lower the strings as far as you can without getting any significant fret buzz on any of your frets. Fret buzz can have a really bad impact on your sound, and it can reduce the gain output of the notes as well as significantly reduce the sustain, or in the worst case, even preventing the fret from sounding at all. Here's an example of some extreme fret buzz. How low you can get your action without getting fret buzz is going to depend on two factors. First is how even your frets are, and the second one is the curvature of your neck. Even a very slight change in the curvature of the neck can have a strong impact on the action, and it is almost imperceivable to the eye unless it is very extreme. You could potentially see some curvature if you look down the neck of the guitar at a very tight angle, but you're best off using a specialized tool for this. Thankfully, you can change the curvature of the neck. The neck actually contains a metal rod and a screw at the end. And the screw, excuse my pick, and the screw is generally located under that metal shield on the headstock. Sometimes it's also located at the other end of the neck. You can tighten or loosen the screw to increase or decrease the curvature in the neck, but be very, very careful when you do this. Make sure you've done your research. Very, very small amounts of turning are required to change the shape of the neck, and you could really screw up your guitar like this, so be careful. The second factor, which is the evenness of the frets, is going to be a bit harder for you to handle on your own. Both of these factors are a good time to highlight the importance of a luthier. A luthier is a professional when it comes to handling a guitar and adjusting all of these kinds of parameters. And I would urge you to really consider taking your guitar to a luthier to improve its playability. Besides action, the other important string position related consideration is intonation. Have you ever noticed that even though your strings are in tune when they're played open, when you play them at the 12th fret or above, they're actually out of tune? See, when it comes to a string being in tune, it's not just the tension in the string that matters, but also the length of the string. The length of the string will determine whether it is in tune at different positions on the string. Again, taking the example of our guitar bridge over here, let's go with this one again. Guitar bridges also generally have ways in which you can make slight adjustments to the length of each string, usually individually, so that you could get each string to be very close to in tune across all of the frets. Of course, intonation can also be handled by the luthier if you decide to go that way. Alright, point 1 was pretty long, so let's get into point number 2, which is knowing your goals and practicing accordingly. Every person has their own desire when it comes to how technically they approach their instrument. For instance, how fast they want to be able to play, or what kind of technical maneuvers they want to be able to perform. Often, in a player's mind, this goal is reflected through a song that they want to play or a solo that they want to play. Becoming a fast player or a virtuoso is very difficult, and it takes years of practice, usually hours a day. Of course, here we're talking about playing fast and accurate, where the duration of every note is what it is supposed to be, and the notes come in the correct order. So make sure that you know your goals and you're honest with yourself, and make sure that your practice routine does not leave you disappointed in 10 years like it has with me. Tip number 3, take care of your instrument. If your guitar is not a very low budget option, chances are it can last you a while. Here's my first guitar. I bought this guitar over 10 years ago and it cost me £500, and I must say it is still one of my favorite instruments to play, if not my favorite, and it has nothing to do with the memories I have with it. It is just a great instrument. I absolutely love the way it feels. The sounds it produces are great. The volume knob is linear and actually lets me adjust the gain, and I can make it clean up. Whereas my other guitars, which are significantly more expensive, have a volume knob that works more like an on-off switch. As I said, that guitar cost me £500, which is just outside of budget range, and here I am 10 years down the line, and I still absolutely love it, and I can see it lasting me another 10 or 20 or however long I'm going to play. Number 4, invest time into sounding good. And more accurately, invest time into knowing how to sound good. Players often overlook sounding good in favor of getting better technically. I know I did. Personally, I tried, and I tried quite a bit. And looking back at it, I just know that I didn't try enough. I always felt unsure whether I'm not sounding good because I'm doing something wrong or whether I don't have the right gear. And I always kind of tended to blame the gear because I felt like I was trying everything that I could try, and I still didn't sound that great, but it was good enough, so I just made do with it. However, the answer is out there and your effort will pay off. Just remember the fact that good sounding notes are a hell of a lot more important than fast notes. Make sure you spend a good amount of time understanding how EQ works, and make sure you spend a good amount of time understanding how various effects work. A good way of doing this is researching how your favorite guitarists get their sound, and there's a lot of resources available on the internet nowadays, and then trying to replicate that or getting as close as you can. Number 5, don't be in a hurry to buy an amp. Chances are, when you're starting out, you're not the best person at determining the difference between an okay sound and a great sound. And because of this, it's also likely that you're not going to be able to replicate that great sound. Getting an amplifier which is not a modular, which is a digital amplifier which has a bunch of different amplifier sounds as well as many different effects that you can play around with, is going to significantly limit your ability to be able to learn how to achieve that great sound. Money spent on modulars or simulators as they're called today, or especially good quality plugins, is seldom wasted. You can forever use these to play guitar or practice in your headphones and for quick recordings or demos, for example, and some of these really do rival studio equipment. In contrast, an amplifier might last you only months before you realize that it's not capable of doing what you need it to do, or before your goals change, and they're very likely to change early on. Number 6. Picks make a huge difference. Your cheapest piece of equipment is actually one of your most important. Don't just stick with whatever you started with. Make sure you try out different pick thicknesses and sizes and point shapes and textures. It can have a huge effect on the kinds of things that you're able to play, how fast you're able to play, and the kind of sound you produce. For fast playing and metal in general, I highly recommend thicker pointy picks like these Jazz 3's XL version by Dunlop. Point number 7, the importance of the picking hand, or for most people, the right hand. So it seems I've saved the most important tip for last. Simply put, throughout my years playing guitar, I've only realized more and more the importance of the picking hand. Your right hand determines a huge part of how your playing sounds and how fast and accurate you're able to play. Yet most people think of it as far less important than the fretting hand. And even for the hardcore Metallica fans out there who pride themselves on the speed of their downpicking, chances are you underestimate the importance of the right hand. Playing complicated rhythms, playing fast leads, playing arpeggios, string skipping, all of these things largely or entirely depend on the right hand or the picking hand. Here's a huge tip for you. Disregard economy picking entirely and use alt picking for everything, including arpeggios. The only exception to this is sweep picking. You can thank me later. Oh, and alt picking is not just about up, down. It's about maintaining that order when string switching. And I think it is the most important technique when playing fast and accurate leads. So make sure to do your research and start early, start hard, alt picking. But anyway, that is all the tips I have for you. Let me know which ones you didn't know or perhaps you didn't place enough importance in. Equally, let me know if you disagree with any of them or if you have any tips of your own for new guitarists. Shred on.